The SS Venture was an InGen cargo vessel in the film The Lost World Jurassic Park and used to bring the Tyrannosaurus Rex to the mainland from Isla Sorna, and a lot of people believe it was the Tyrannosaurus Rex that actually killed the crew of the ship. Well, that may not be entirely true, and it might be another predator altogether, and that's what we discuss in today's video. Following the capture of the male Tyrannosaurus Rex on Isla Sorna, Peter Ludlow had the tranquilized animal loaded into the framed harness and transferred by helicopter to the deck of the Venture. The ship then left the island bound for San Diego. The next time we see the Venture is when it's heading towards the InGen waterfront complex, where the harbour master tries to make contact and the vessel crashes suddenly and violently into the dock. That's when Peter Ludlow went aboard along with Ian Malcolm and Sarah Harding. They see several dead crew members, one with his hand on one of the steering wheels and another with his hand clamped down on the button to shut the cargo hold doors. And this is where it starts to get really interesting, as the screenwriting and storytelling tries to tell us that it was the T-Rex that potentially killed these on board, but there are several things wrong with that theory. One of them is the hand left on the captain's steering wheel. Now, if it was the T-Rex, there would be unimaginable amounts of damage to that cabin. Walls caved in, debris, and devastation, with that hand not being left on the steering wheel as it would have been yanked off. You could also argue that you do not see the full extent of the cabin, and the T-Rex could have come in from the other side. Well, that's not true, because we do see the cabin on another angle, and it doesn't look like there's any damage at all. So that would rule out the T-Rex actually killing that man. So what could it actually be, and why was it never shown on screen? Well, I have them answers coming up. People always seem to believe it is just the T-Rex which did this, but what happens if it was a combination of multiple predators? Why does it have to be just the single Tyrannosaurus? Now, there is a storyboard which was by Phil Tippett, revealing that there was a sequence aboard the Venture during its voyage where the Tyrannosaurus awakened in its harness on the deck. It shows in more detail how the crew kept him restrained and how a series of catastrophic events end with the Rex getting free of his muzzle and injuring lots of the crew in the process. The original movie would have shown this scene and then presumably cut to the sequence at the waterfront complex. This was obviously cut from the movie and was never shown, and it still doesn't show or indicate anything other than the T-Rex killing the crew, but we still have that mystery of the hand on the boat steering wheel. That couldn't have been the T-Rex. If the Rex was loose aboard that ship, wouldn't it be all hands on deck trying to contain it? And don't you think he would have gone to the other side of the room if the T-Rex was coming for him? It all points to something else. One of the long-standing theories is that they're actually velociraptors on board, and this is something we're going to explore right now. One of the theories is that there's actually a velociraptor stowed aboard below deck. There are various subplots which actually point towards this. The Isla Sorna velociraptors could have easily have boarded that boat undetected at some point. Now, in the novel of Jurassic Park, velociraptors do actually stow aboard the ship and ride it to the mainland. Now, that is not to say that is what happened here, but it does show that it can and has happened in the novel. But you might be wondering, if velociraptors did stow aboard the ship and did attack the crew, how did they leave the boat undetected? Now, if we follow the original storyboard, the Rex would have been aboard on the deck of the ship, woken up and attacked the crew members, and then forcibly have been put below deck. So where would this leave the velociraptors' attack then? Well, what happens if they simultaneously attacked the same time the Rex woke up? That could also explain their disappearance. The velociraptors attack, the T-Rex wakes up, they're both attacking at the same time. The T-Rex then could either A, take out the velociraptors himself, although there would be evidence of this and there is none, so I don't think that could have happened. B, the T-Rex could have scared them off and the raptors either retreated below deck into the smaller holds or jumped off the ship entirely. Or C, when the boat actually crashed into the mainland, they then took their chance when all chaos broke loose and escaped onto the mainland. However, we do not see any velociraptor evidence aboard the ship. However, there is evidence to suggest that the Isla Sorna raptors were indeed on the mainland, because we see them in the dino tracker. This shows that Isla Sorna raptors did make it to the mainland, whether from that boat or another source is unknown. Now, there was not a single crew member left alive. Now, if the T-Rex did escape on deck, not every single person would have been on deck, but likely some of them would have still been below the hold in different cargo spaces, and the T-Rex would not be able to get them, much like their hand on the steering wheel. Furthermore, Sarah makes a reference to the Tyrannosaurus needing to feed once in San Diego. The Tyrannosaurus is a large animal, but consuming the crew of an entire cargo ship would be multiple meals. I know the Rex may have the munchies at this stage, but there is no way he would need to feed. Another indicator is the fact that we only see one, maybe two bodies on board that ship, indicating that the Rex actually ate them all or something else. I don't think we have to assume the entire crew was killed. Most could have jumped overboard in the harbour. A ship that size would more likely have a crew of 10 to 20, so it's likely we would see someone else on deck. There's also another argument to say that compies could have easily have climbed aboard and picked at the remains, leaving barely any trace of anybody who was killed on the ship. So as to what really killed the crew, plot holes. Plot holes killed the crew. But in all seriousness, the visual storytelling of this scene is really poor, as there was clearly a subplot here for raptors but was later removed, but the visual storytelling doesn't reflect this at all, and the movie itself does a really bad job of explaining how the Rex could manage to kill literally every person on the ship without leaving a lot more damage than is visible. That is not good visual storytelling. Visual storytelling should tell the story visually, but nothing on the venture points to the Rex having done it. Between the approach, the Ludlow scenes we see on the bridge, and there is no T-Rex size haul. We see no damage the Rex caused to the ship at all. Good visual storytelling wouldn't be left wondering or making theories, it would have been communicated in the set of designs. So in actuality, the T-Rex was supposed to kill every single person on that ship with the Velociraptor subplot, but none of this was communicated effectively. I personally would have loved to have seen the T-Rex charging about that ship, again forced down into the hold, all while a pack of Velociraptors are causing absolute chaos at the same time, with them same raptors escaping into the mainland and then appearing in the 2022 Dino Tracker would have been a complete circle and finished it up nicely with a bow. So although the visual storytelling doesn't say it was the Velociraptors, our eyes and theory work say it was, along with the T-Rex. So if anyone for the next Jurassic World is hiring a screenwriter, I'm free guys, I'm free! If you've enjoyed today's video, hit that like button right now, and make sure to subscribe because I come up with videos like this every week. A massive thanks to my Patreons and YouTube members for supporting the channel. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Shadows out.